This article on Forbes is called "The Long List of What's Allegedly Being Added to Cyberpunk 2077." This is by Paul Tassi, who we've mentioned multiple times on the show before. His articles are pretty spot on. So this is a list that come from some connections, some conversations, some speculation, some information due to the hiring of modders at CD Projekt Red. And let's just go over some of the main points that are brought up in this article. We're just going to hit the bullet points, and I just want some quick reactions from you guys on this. So it says right here, first bullet point: over the next few years, CDPR will be remaking, quote, practically every system that exists in the game over time. Slow improvements rather than some massive patch or release fixing everything.
Promising. Yeah, sounds great. Do it.
Yeah, and it seems like they might be on track for doing that, because that seems to be kind of where they're going, right? Okay, next on the list, the entirety of the police system will be reworked.
Good. They need to really understand, like, cops should not stop following you after a certain distance. Like, there's a reason why you're wanted, and it's not because you're only desired for short periods of time.
Right.
Yeah, I was shocked at how easy it was to evade the police.
Absolutely. I think that'll make the world feel more lived in. Next on the list, factions will remember how you've behaved towards them in the past and be hostile or passive towards you as a result. We are already starting to see bits of this, with Arasaka drones attacking players if you've started a new game post patch 1.3.
Is that something you've run into, Sam?
I actually thought that I just did, like an hour or two ago. Mm-hmm. I thought I just ran into that because I believe the gang is called the Tiger or something. Tiger
Claws?
I can't remember the name.
Tiger Claws, yeah.
Yes. So I had ran up and like shot one of them who was in a shootout with the police. And then like later when I was doing a different mission, I was walking up to where I needed to be. And there was a Tiger Claw member just waiting there and basically like got into combat with me right away. So I didn't think that I did anything to trigger that, except maybe because they're part of the same faction, they knew. Like, I might be wrong. Maybe that was a weird coincidence. I have no idea. But yeah, I actually didn't like, as far as I know.
What about the Arasaka drones attacking you? I guess you're probably not far. You're probably not far enough in the game to deal with that.
Yeah, that did not happen to me.
I think it's a great plan. I think it really does play into the idea of them building out actual gangs. There's a reason why there's gangs. We should have importance focused around them. So it'll be nice if they actually do that the way that some of the modding community's done.
It seems like a similar concept to the police remembering who you are. It seems like the code would be very similar. You know,
yeah. I don't see
this group,
why that's...
They know who you are. This is how they feel about you. So therefore they react a certain way.
I don't see why that's like an advanced concept that wasn't in the game to start with, because I mean, Fallout New Vegas did that. And that game's like how old?
Oh yeah. No, I mean, it's not a new idea. It's just obviously wasn't a priority over other things to get this out, you know. Let's move on to the next one. An NPC variety system is being developed to give more diversity, both citizens and their vehicles.
Oh, that's good. So instead of like super hot chicks or really big dudes, we're actually going to see normal people.
Normal people? Maybe? Guy with the big belly, no shirt, and Daisy Dukes?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
Not the same three kids wandering aimlessly throughout the city.
Yeah, depressed child number 2 and depressed child number 1 walking down the streets all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, why does everyone look like Skrillex?
Yes, right.
Effectively.
All right. This you'll like this one. A transmog system is coming, letting you have the stats of one piece of gear while skinning it to look like another, or look like something else, so that you can, dress up and look awesome while still having, the good stats of the dumb looking boots with the raincoat.
Nice.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to next week when we can dive a little bit deeper into that one, because I have some thoughts about that. But yeah, I'll be happy if they do a transmog system.
Yeah. All right. Change to gameplay difficulty balance, altering the current DPS trumps everything system. This will include strengths and weaknesses to different elemental types of damage and more RPG aspects than the game has now. This is reportedly something that got scrapped late into development, which makes sense because this comes from a tabletop role-playing game.
Yeah. Not to mention, like, all the weapons actually have specific types of damage that they deal. It just doesn't change anything. It
doesn't matter.
You scan people and they're like weak to poison, and it's like, cool. Does that actually do anything? No. Okay.
Nope.
All right.
Nothing.
It sounds cool in concept, but I mean, that one totally depends upon execution. And if they botch that one, screw it. Just go with Morrowind dice roll combat.
Why do I keep swinging my katana and not hitting anything? All right. A couple dozen pieces of free DLC, albeit they may still be very minor things like clothing or cars like we've seen. A couple dozen of minor things? That sounds great.
I would have loved if this game came out at a time like, for example, Death Stranding has the oh my gosh, it's like the Ybarra bike in it. I can't remember the name of the bike, but it's the red one that everyone sees on the marketing and stuff. That bike is in Death Stranding. Can you imagine if this game launched well and we started getting some really cool crossover cosmetics for like special events? Hell, they could have had Halloween cosmetics if they really wanted to, or Christmas cosmetics, some fun stuff that they would have been able to add in like for DLC things, or just out like horns. You want horns on your V? Awesome.
Why
do
not?
it. Here's a transmog. Here's a DLC. We're going to do, crazy demon V, and you can start really like adding all this kind of crazy DLC, like cool stuff.
Yeah, that seems, this is the perfect game for that kind of stuff because you could totally augment your body to look like anything in this universe. Yeah. Like, absolutely. Yeah, there's so much you could do with a world like this, especially if you open up to some sort of multiplayer, which is coming further down the list. So, yeah, absolutely. Next, a New Game Plus system. Yes, please. Yes, please. And let us skip the dialogue and the video stuff if we don't want to have to rewatch it because we've already done it 10 times. Yes, please. Anything else to say about that?
Let me skip brain dances.
Brain dances, yes.
Sorry, Sam.
I don't see how they could screw up a New Game Plus system, but... Go for it.
Apartment customization with multiple places players can live and redesign. That would be amazing.
Yes. I'm a big fan of that idea.
Hey, let me buy multiple apartments. How about that? Let me actually interact with the clothing that's in my apartment. Let me interact with the weapons that are in my apartment. Let me actually do stuff in my apartment.
It'd be great. Oh, how about this one? A barbershop to alter your appearance. Unclear if just hair or everything.
That's big brain stuff right there. Although,
oh man,
I don't know if I want a barbershop adjusting anything down below my headline. Though.
Maybe it would be called something other than a barbershop, but unless you're doing the hair. But imagine this holiday stuff where you could run around looking like freaking Santa Claus. I want to infiltrate a gang looking like jolly old Saint Nick.
There's a Santa Claus gang in the.
I want to be Santa Claus and be just like shooting down people. That would be amazing.
Christmas carols playing in your ears while you're shooting people.
Oh my God, yes! And and during Christmas, I want freaking the cyberpunk equivalent of Christmas music.
It's like Skrillex's music in the background, and it's like, you better not pout, you better not cry.
Yeah, you better not pout, pout, pout. Yeah, that's what I want right there.
Oh my God.
All right, 2 more on the list. 2 large content DLCs, the first of which seems focused on Pacifica. This will not add a big new zone, but layer new content on top of existing zones because they need it. We've talked about this. It will also take place before the end of the game with V, not be standalone or pick a canon ending. Perfect.
Guess who's right?
Perfect. And then, I don't know if we have to say anything else about that. Sam, this isn't really spoilery. There's just not a whole lot of stuff to do in Pacifica. kind of, there's some stuff to do, but it's not really filled out. So that's part of why we really want this.
It's not nearly as dense as it could be.
Right.
And it's a shame because it's one of my favorite zones.
And the gang in there is really cool. We just wish there was more about that in the game. But anyway, and then there's Cyberpunk is now replacing the formerly GTA Online-like system that was scrapped after being in development and is a multiplayer concept focused on cooperative play. It's described as a small MMO, but there are no guarantees that this will see the light of day, and it is the furthest thing down the road.
So this sounds
that kind of makes sense, right?
A lot like Borderlands.
I guess, but it also makes sense that you would do all of these other things first, get all of that stuff working, and then add in other players and the content that you can play with other players.
Yeah, don't pull a Daisy where the devs don't fix things and then they just keep adding new features. Like fix things and then add the new features.
Right. Like,
so
allow yourself to buy cars and have places to live and all the clothes that you want to wear and actually do all the things in the game. And then add other people in and go on missions together. Amazing. That would be great. This sounds more like Destiny, doesn't it?
I'll tell you what this should be. This needs to be like Far Cry 6. You can play Far Cry 6 single player up to a point where co-op unlocks. Once co-op unlocks for your character, you can bring in friends and tackle strongholds and missions as a pair. And it makes it way different of a gameplay experience because you have two people coming at it from different approaches who can rely on different styles of gameplay, something that is very fun to do in Cyberpunk, and actually have fun with someone and have a shared experience. That's what Cyberpunk needs to be for online. It doesn't need to be an MMO. It doesn't need to be a Destiny. It needs to be a co-op experience, something that you can go through the story with someone and have fun doing that and play through the game with a co-op partner. Have it be like the Halo campaign.
But wouldn't you want like other content to play too? Not just the same missions again?
Well, that's up to the DLC. That's up to them introducing new characters to interact with and stuff like that.
Yeah, I would want new missions. I would let's infiltrate the Militech building together.
Well, that's like the step above where I'm saying it needs to be at. Like they need to do at least co-op campaign past the title screen. And then after that experience is nailed, let's then bring in a DLC to pack to really kind of add more flavor and more stuff and like that. And then you can start selling DLC to people.
Right. Because I would like when you think about it and you're like, okay, Johnny had a gang, right? Like it was a band, but it was a gang. I want a gang. I want me and my buds to like have a cool badass gang, and I want our gang to get together, and I want our gang to go infiltrate something. I want us to infiltrate another gang. I want to infiltrate a corp. I want to do something cool in the cyberpunk world that feels really cyberpunk. That's what I want.
I want to be able to play as Jackie with someone playing as V.
Yeah. I want us to like fight back against the man, like I want us to be able to like do that in this world. And that doesn't happen by yourself.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
It's easy to be a solo, but a lot of the best, mercs out there have people that they rely on. They aren't all solos.
Right.
And I think that would be a fun co-op experience that they could bring.
Absolutely. And that's how the tabletop works. Like you've got your net runner hacking the system while somebody else is looking out for the guards coming around the corner. And then the guards show up and they're taking down the guards while they're buying time for the net runner to open up, the door or hack the turret so that they don't get shot, like that kind of stuff. And then they're making their way into the next room. And then, like you got to work together in order to get through whatever it is you're trying to do. That's the cyberpunk experience when you're working as a group. That would be the next phase of this. And maybe that's 3 years down the line, but that seems like a really cool goal. If we can get to there, like it doesn't need to be GTA Online, but if we can get to that would be really cool.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah, I'm imagining something along the lines of what everyone said they wanted the next Elder Scrolls to be. if you know what I mean. Like taking the Borderlands online system and putting it inside an open world where it's not like missions are specific, like this is a highly structured thing where you're going to initiate the event, play the event is over, and you cannot play with your friend anymore because it's only event based. That's not fun, in my opinion, and it would break immersion again. So if they could have something that's, integrated like an open world thing, and I know that they said they're replacing the formerly GTA online system. I don't know. I think it needs to be centered around immersion, because no one's going to play Cyberpunk because it's an FPS. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't think that's why people would play Cyberpunk.
Yeah, it needs to have a system where you can be yourself and be who you are and play that out. But it also has to have cool combat and stuff. It's got to be like those two things working together, right? And they've got cool combat and stuff. That stuff's in there.
Have you guys played any Back 4 Blood yet?
Dude, that's all I've been playing.
That's right. I remember we were talking about it. That is a mission-based structure where you're going from mission to mission. There's checkpoints. You can upgrade your gear. You can add modifiers with the cards and difficulty. Like that system can be fun. It can be interesting, and it's drop in and drop out. So you can take over a bot at any point during a mission for someone, and the bots are worthless, but at least you can have someone jump in when you're playing with bots to be able to take over that character. That is a system that I think would be interesting to see in Cyberpunk. Not to say that's what it has to be, but at least something like that is an approachable design philosophy for a game that has a world like Cyberpunk. I think you could do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see like a mission that's structured around playing it with 4 people, and let's say the 3 of us jump in and we need a 4th, and you fill it with a bot in order to just fill it out. I could see that working.